Well, welcome back to the Lucid SMP. My name is Sam, or Erfaren, and today we pick up basically where we left off last episode. And we are going to figure out how to get from down here to up there without needing to use our elytra or eventually a happy ghast, which is what I am really excited about for this whole base. So, I was originally gonna do a water chute here that just went straight up, but then I didn't really like the idea of having just water right here and then an opening up there. I wanted something that would open and close the floor up there so you kind of just like hop up and land and you're safe. So I have spent the last week developing a design that uses wind charges to push us from down here to all the way up there and then closes the floor underneath us. And that is what we are going to get working on today. But first, we're going to need to collect a bunch of different redstone materials and other things to help us along the way. So I suppose we can get started on that, but I will show you just a little bit of the other random things I did in between episodes. As you can see, I just expanded this a little bit to get some more copper going. And actually, since we've got that already, we can go and grab this copper. As you can see, I made a little chest area to kind of stage ourselves. But we can get this copper going as well as maybe some of this. And then we should... Perfect. And then we should have a really good amount of oxidized copper. Granted, we're going to need more, but that is part of a later stage of today's episode, because to have a wind charge launcher, we're going to need wind charges. And that means we need to go to a trial chamber, which also means we need to find a trial chamber. So maybe we do some villager hunting to find that. But that is the plan. And I am going to go ahead and get these all swapped out here so that this is also all finished. Now, the nice thing about this launcher is that it really is actually pretty inexpensive. We can use mostly whatever we want for it. So I'm just going to use a lot of glass and then kind of a mix of other materials. But we really should have enough redstone to get going on it. And I'm growing some bamboo now so that we have enough for scaffolding, because we're going to use some scaffolding to send a charge from the ground all the way up to the top so that we can have it start the block swapper. So I'm hoping it's not going to take us too long to put it together, but I think getting the wind charges and then also making sure we have a consistent, inflow of wind charges is going to be important, because we might, we have elytra, so we might not have to use it all the time, but we're probably going to use it at least here and there because it's really cool and I'm really proud of it. So I feel like I have to use it, but I think it's going to be okay. I think, yeah, the only thing that we're going to need to just keep a consistent eye on is those wind charges. And with this last one placed, we now have all of our new copper placed. We do have 2 extras, but that's just fine. We'll just replace out some of the others when they are done. So let's go drop these off, and then I'm going to put together the list of materials that we need for the launcher. After a brief count up of what we'll need, the entire list is as follows. So we're gonna need 192 glass of any kind. I'm trying to decide whether I want to do stained or clear. So we'll see, what we decide on. We might just start with clear glass for now, but if we want to change it in the future, we could also do that. Then we're also going to need 36 diorite, or really whatever block we want to use, but these blocks are going to be hidden away, so it really doesn't matter what we use for these. It's kind of where I'm going to be running the redstone, so I'm just going to use diorite since we have a bunch of it. 20 scaffolding. That's how, if you've seen the automatic tree farm that we have on the solo survival series, we're going to use updates made to the scaffolding to send a redstone pulse all the way to the top of this, so that it reflects the change that we want to see up at the top. So kind of a cool thing to use scaffolding for. It is going to be a little bit of an eyesore, but again, we're going to find a way to build around it to make it look nicer, I think. Then we're going to need 8 observers, 6 comparators, 5 repeaters, 4 dispensers, 4 sticky pistons, 3 copper bulbs, 2 note blocks, 2 redstone lamps, 2 tripwire hooks, a redstone block, iron trapdoor, lectern, button, redstone torch, fence gate, pressure plate, string, and 1 bucket of water. Nice long list. But actually, I think we're going to be okay. I actually think we have most of this stuff already, so I'm not feeling too worried about getting it all collected. And maybe we just use... I guess we can just use this one, since the only thing we had in there was some random dye. So yeah, let's start getting our things collected and dropped into there. And with the lectern in place, that leaves us with just a couple things left. So we are going to need a bunch of glass. And I figured we may as well just go mine up some glass on our own. We don't need to go buy it and be lazy. So we'll go get some sand, mine that up, and then we'll get it smelting here behind us. And then from there, the dispensers, the copper bulbs, and the wind charges we all need from the trial chamber. So for now, let's go ahead and grab this glass, and then we'll get all of this put together, minus the copper bulbs and the things that we're going to get from the trial chamber. And then we can find some friends and go take one on. Now, if I'm remembering right, there is a bunch of just kind of sandy islands right over here that we can just go, yeah, we're just going to go tear one of these down and dig all the sand from this and then go back and get it smelted up. Well, perfect. With 464 and some stacks of glass, we've got more than enough here. And we also have a little island that we can come back to for more glass should we ever need it. So now it's time to head back to the base, get all of this smelted up, and then we can start getting the majority of this project put together. With the majority of our glass now done, I think it is time for us to get started on putting this all together. So let's get all of this into our inventory. We can probably just drop those in there for the time being. We're going to definitely want to start with our glass, and then kind of the rest of the things we'll just grab sporadically as we need them. But the first thing we need to figure out is the center, which is right here. And this is where our chamber is going to be for launching us. So what we need to do is actually take some of our diorite here that we're just going to use as a building block, and we are going to make a little landing area right here. And this is where a pressure plate is going to be to actually launch us up into the sky. And then in these 4 spaces around, we are going to have dispensers. Now, of course, we don't have those right now, so for the time being, we're just going to put in some more diorite to remind us of where those need to be. And then with that set, we can drop in our pressure plate, and the concept is you drop right here, these 4 dispensers hit you with a wind charge and blast you straight up and through the center hole up at the top. So that's what's going to happen here, but while we wait for the other things, we can go ahead and get the base of this put together, and we are going to need to move all of this actually. So before I get too far into it, let's move some of this stuff over. With all of this now tidied up and just put over here for the time being, we can actually get to putting this together. So the things that we are going to need here, first is a little bit of glass, one of our redstone lamps, and our button right here. So the idea is we are going to have a chamber in here that is completely covered by glass. And then we'll have a little light here that when you click this, it indicates to let you know that the system is running up top to open this. So that when you drop in, it's clear for you to go. We actually have a little thing set up so it'll make a sound. So that'll be something that we see here in a little bit. But when that is all done, that is all set. We go up, you'll hit a tripwire that then will close the system behind you. And that is how you get the system to actually close and let you land up there. But what we need to do now is get all of this glass placed. And then once we're over to this side, that's when we'll start working on the scaffolding thing that sends the signal from the scaffolding all the way up to the top. And with this first layer of glass placed, now we get to go and actually do some of the base redstone for this system that I was just talking about. So let's clear this out here. Let's grab our comparator. And then we can get to work here. So first things first, we need a comparator here that is going to take the signal from this and output a signal into this string, which this is all going to go here. And then in this place here, which again, we're just going to place a piece of diorite for the time being. This is going to be a copper bulb that will have yet another system right here that notifies a trapdoor stationed here that this bulb is on, and thus this should be open, which will send a signal all the way up to the top to let it know that. And then here on top of this, we need to place one piece of scaffolding that'll act as the base, and then another piece of scaffolding will go on top of this trapdoor, and this scaffolding is the one that'll go all the way up to the top of this build. Now, right now I have it going all the way to the ceiling. It does not need to go that high, but until we have the things up there, we're just going to have it be that high. And now that we are all the way to the top of this, it is time to switch over to the diorite and actually get a lot of the redstone for this put into place. And I kind of just want to make sure we have a bunch of space in our inventory to have all of this out. So let's do this quick. Perfect. And now we can get to putting the actual system up here that opens the ceiling. We can work on getting that put into play. Now, the first thing we need to do is actually set up the system to retrieve the information from this. So I did knock this down from the ceiling, but what we need to do is have an observer facing down on it just like that. And then that observer is going to feed into, again, a copper bulb, but we don't have one of those right now. So we're going to place another piece of diorite. And then we can grab our glass with a comparator facing out of that. And that will be facing into another redstone lamp. And then from the redstone lamp, we just do ourselves a little climb right up until I think here. And then we make one face out. Oops, not like that though. Oh no, we need that one. Hold on. As I was saying, we make this one face out, and then we have another one that faces down into this. And that will be the system that reads the signal from all the way down here and activates yet another copper bulb that will then set off the signal into this to actually open up. And as you can see, I took out actually 2 blocks so I could land here, but it'll open up this center block right here. So once again, we can do a block of diorite here to signify where we need that copper bulb. And then coming out of that copper bulb, we need another comparator that'll sit right here and face into our piston. And that'll cause it to activate, pushing a redstone block into the actual system. Now, unfortunately, we kind of just have to trust that this is going to work until we have copper bulbs, because the copper bulbs are really the heart of this system and making sure that the signal actually travels up here. So right now, we just have to believe that this is going to work. But what we're going to do now is turn our attention to the actual mechanism that will open up the ceiling. Now, luckily, this portion of the system is actually pretty simple, and we can close that off now. Effectively, how this works is we are going to have a double piston extender that pushes the piston out this way and then up. And this is actually one of the blocks that we'll need for that. And really, it's quite simple. So I will get this circuit set up, and then I'll explain how it works so that you all can understand as well. Beautiful. Well, with this part of the circuit set up, now how this works is this right here is going to come in and power this redstone. And when this redstone gets powered, this whole circuit turns off and this door will open. Now, I'm not going to do anything crazy to get this powered right now. All we're going to do is take out this torch, but you'll see this door will open the moment that the power is removed from this circuit. So now we have this open, and what's going to happen, like I said, is when this opens, we're going to have an additional circuit that only works when this circuit is off, that plays a couple note blocks over here. And those note blocks are essentially there just to give the person down at the bottom a notice that the door is open and you are now ready to jump yourself into the launcher. So with the power back on, you see the door closes back up. Now it's time to turn our attention over to, as I said, that system for the note blocks. So how this system will work is that when this turns off, it will unlock this comparator right here and allow a signal to go out over here to the 2 note blocks that will get set up. This comparator will be set to have a book here in this lectern, which is actually why we went through and made this book, was mostly so that I could use it again later. But of course, we're going to hold on to it just for a second so I can get this written down somewhere else, and then we'll get the book placed in here. But then going from here, we have the signal that will come out and into these note blocks. Now, do I know what notes I want these note blocks to have? Nope, but I think that's something that we get to figure out right now. Ba-bum. It's kind of what I want. I want like a ba-bum. Okay. I don't know if this is the note series that we want, but we can take a look here. So let's go ahead and take this list out. I do have everything else written down now, and we can go ahead and turn this into a little redstone book so that we have this and we can duplicate it in the future, honestly. Sign, we will call it redstone. Boom. Put this here, and we just want the charge to be enough that when the power is removed from here, so let's grab this here. When the power is removed from here, the note blocks get hit just like that. So what you'll see is if I turn this power off, now there is no power coming out to these because this repeater is locking the system. And then the moment this power is removed, There you go. I actually really like that sound. That's pretty silly. We might keep it at that. We might tune it to a different thing. But that is the whole door system all put together. So the last thing we really need is to go and get those wind charges, those copper bulbs, and those dispensers. And then this whole system is done. I can't tell you how proud I am of this. I couldn't find any tutorial anywhere on how to do like this system all together. Obviously, these wind charge launchers are really popular right now, but I couldn't find anything on how to make like an automated floor replacer to catch you when you're going through. And I'm really, really excited about it. Now, I will say, as we go down, you can see it is a bit of an eyesore. But honestly, I think the clear glass might have been the way to go. I don't know. We might change it in the future for some different glass, but this is kind of what I was talking about earlier of like, the scaffolding really, really stands out like a sore thumb in this design. So it might be something that we change the actual staircase so we don't walk around the backside. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below, because honestly, I'm fine with it being this way because I think it's really cool and it kind of shows off this thing that I got to design. But if you guys have any other thoughts, just let me know. I would love to hear them. I almost forgot about the last touch, which is this water that goes right there. And this actually will slow us down just enough to get us to land and not blast us directly up into the top of this dome. Because when I was testing this, it was launching me far higher than this goes. So having that water there actually allows us to stop basically like right here in the middle. So yeah, that water is an important feature so that we don't bonk our heads up at the top. I am really excited about how this looks though. I think eventually maybe what we'll do is we'll just have this whole area closed off and we'll have the actual, you know, base part of this be something that we can fly into up here. And then maybe we just have this be normal floor. And then I want to do a dome here to kind of hide the redstone bits up top. So honestly, I think we might be able to just do that right now. Let's just build a little roof using some of our copper. Now, I know this dome isn't going to be too crazy considering we have to start it right here and can't really go too high off the bat, but I want it to just be kind of this gradual little thing here that at least covers up the top and gives some structure above our heads. So maybe if we just do, I don't know, what if we did upside down stairs here along the edge? Ooh, and now we come to kind of an interesting piece right here where obviously this is going to need to stay up. So maybe we just do kind of a little upward area here that lets that breathe, but we can at least finish out this side of it. And then we'll just see how that looks. So what I'm kind of thinking is we could do like a 1, 2, and over type situation here that allows this to have the space it needs without us blocking it off. So what if we did something like this here? Okay, honestly, I'm really liking how all of this copper looks. I'm going to need to go and make just a little bit more of the cut copper things, but I just replaced out some of this stuff up there with the copper, and I think that helps to fill in that space so nice. And honestly, I really like how this looks, so I think we just need to extend this out kind of to this edge and let it close off right here. And I think that's going to fit in and look really, really nice with everything that's already here. But yeah, I think let's get some more of the cut copper here. We might replace that block and that block, but then I don't know. I'm really, really liking how this is looking. So honestly, maybe we just turn this one so it's like this, and it gives it just a little bit more finality there. Yeah, I like that. Okay. And then we'll have this come around and match up with what else is going to happen over there. And we might need to expand our little platform that we've been using so that we can get around all of that. Oh yeah, I am really loving how this is looking. So I think these blocks that are holding the tripwire hooks, they definitely need to be replaced and changed into copper. But because they're in the center, I kind of am thinking maybe we just let them be, you see how they're like a half block up higher? I think I want them to still be that half block up. So we're going to make a similar one right here to fit that same vibe and kind of match what we have going on over here. So it's not just the one odd one standing out. So you can definitely still see in and through all of this, which kind of makes me wonder if we want to change some of these other blocks to the cut copper as well, so that we can't see anything outside of the chamber once you're up there. I kind of like that idea, and that way it'll mask some of it just a little bit better instead of having all of this exposed redstone stuff going on up there. Perfect. Okay, let's take a look at how that looks now. Oh, that's much better. I mean, you can still see some of the redstone that's going on here, but it really obscures the rest, and I like that a lot. We're definitely gonna need some honey though, so that I can do some level of texturing here, because I don't love just the flat color to it, but I do really like having kind of a, oh, these need to go, having kind of this structured roof on the inside. I don't know, I really like how it looks, so can't complain too much. Can you tell anything about it from out here? Like, is it distracting when you're flying in? Well, other than the large chute, but not really. It kind of messes with this window a little bit. But when you're here, there's still all of the space to look out. So I don't know if I'm feeling too bad about this. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I think it looks really nice. We'll just do one more flight in from this direction and just confirm that we are still liking it. Yeah, because we still have our facades. We still have what we want. And I am liking the idea of eventually we just have this be like a grand entrance that only leads to this, and the rest of this is just kind of filled in. And then for us, when we want to actually get into this area, we can just fly into this landing zone. And obviously this bamboo and stuff won't be here. It's just here for now. So we'd fly here, and this would be a flat floor that we could then go up. And honestly, maybe we could even have stairs here that would go wherever we want them to be, but it doesn't necessarily have to be this whole spiraling staircase that now has this eyesore of scaffolding in it. But I guess finally, with all of this in place, the last thing we have to do is go to a trial chamber. So what we need to do now is go find a village and go commandeer a few villagers and see if we can get at least one of them to give us a trial chamber map. Now, I am not sure of any village that is close to our base, but the other day when I was hanging out with Skye, I found 2 villages over by where they're getting everything set up. So I'm going to go to the one that's at least a little bit farther away from their base, and we'll try and get at least a villager from over there. Well, incidentally, as we were launching, a second villager got into here, so I guess we've got 2. So if the first one doesn't work out, we've got a second one that we can at least try with. Now, on the Lucid SMP, we are not actually allowed to have villagers at our base just to help with keeping the server running smoothly. So while we are going to have this villager over at our base to find the closest trial chamber, as soon as we're done with them, we're just going to let them free, go off into the wild, just to ensure the longevity of the server is just fine. Oh, there they all go. They might not survive that. Oh my gosh, they landed in water. Okay, we appear to be smooth sailing again, but we're going to stay out over the water just to be sure that they stay with us as we fly on back to our base. And there it is, our beautiful base. And we still got both of them with us, actually, which is incredible. So we're going to try and get them nice and close to this and then just land them down, hopefully safely, somewhere that we can get them to use the cartography table. And whichever one of them is fastest gets to use it first. This guy is really running, trying to become the best cartographer in the land. Look at you. Okay, you want to trade me a bunch of paper. I'm just going to buy a bunch of maps from you, though, because I have got a bunch of emeralds. So you, sir, can have all of my money. Okay, there's a Savannah village map. Not exactly what I was looking for, but it's not bad. Let's trade you this. Oh, yes, there it is. There's the Trial Explorer map. So we just need to give him 10 emeralds and a compass, and we have got that. So let's put together that compass and grab ourselves a couple more emeralds here. Oh, thank goodness. I thought that was going to be a whole lot longer of a process, but luckily it was not. You, sir, I owe you this. Thank you for your business. Oh my gosh, there's one right here. Oh, I'm so glad we brought him over here. I knew it. I knew there had to be one right here. Oh, that's so exciting. Where's it at? Oh, like literally right here. Okay, well, I know where we're going later. Oh, that's exciting. Okay. Well, thank you, villager friends. Unfortunately, that is all that I am allowed to keep you around for. So I do need to take you back to a village where you can be used by other people. So let's hop back in the little boat, please. Hop back in the little boat, please. You know you want to. Thank you. And now I will drag you out to sea, and we can take ourselves out somewhere else. Goodbye, friends. Have a nice, safe rest of your life. I'm going to head on home. I really appreciate your help in particular, sir. Well, I suppose the next thing to do is complete this trial chamber, but for that, we're gonna need some friends. So we actually have a good group of people that have come to join us. They're not all here yet, but we've got Jazz, ODM, Zen, Skye, and Marzz all here to take on this trial chamber together. I am so excited. I think it's gonna be an absolute blast. So now we're just waiting on everybody to convene, and then it's time to go. Ah! Hello.
Oh.
Just gonna land on the roof.
Is it a plane? Is it a
We're all over here having a bath.
I see. Yeah, you're just chilling. I had to wait for chunks to load it for a second.
We're just over here swimming, treading water.
And now we dive straight down. Where? Oh, Jazz is right there, just drowning. I'm digging straight down.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, dig straight down there. You got probably another 20 blocks to go. You'll hit a cave.
Okay.
And then it's just a little bit below that cave.
Whoa, Marzz, you're digging so much faster than me.
I just upgraded my pickaxe.
I've got efficiency 5. What do you have?
Efficiency, it says V. I can't read.
And just dig this way.
And staircase down.
Okay. And you said only have to staircase like.
You're
oh,
real close
I'm on it. I'm literally looking at it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We've got a floor open here, so let's maybe
Dig
here.
a little room. We can put the bed down.
Yeah, I'm okay. So I dropped in. So we are in one of the spawner rooms. So if you want to dig around over to here on this side, I'm gonna dig up. I'm also taking this. I'm gonna dig up and do a little.
There's quite literally a cave.
Oh, there's a cave right on the other side. Yeah.
So
dig straight to me.
You know,
Oh,
let's do it.
nice.
See what's up.
Sam's just making the staircase for me.
There you go.
It
No
has
problem.
reason.
No problem. Okay.
Yeah, this would be a great little safe spot then.
So yeah, who brought to bed? I'm gonna
I
light this
brought
up
the
too,
bed.
so that we.
I'll bring the bed
Okay,
down.
good. I was like, I did not bring a bed.
Alright, where are you guys at? Oh, you guys are down. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Alright.
And then, does anybody have an ender chest just in case? Because I may or may not have accidentally mined my other one with a fortune pickaxe instead of a.
Oh, good job.
Apparently
Yeah.
I put mine away.
And then here is, I'm just gonna leave these shulkers out and ready should anybody need them. These are the two kind of random materials boxes that Jazz gave me. So those are ready to go if people need them.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna put my elytra in a safe place and
I got a
hopefully.
spare shield. You do that, Jazz. And then before we go in, if we all huddle up, I have a 8-minute splash potion of strength that can hit us all out.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't.
I can't see anything but shields.
There
I'm just gonna take literally all of these copper bulbs because I need them all.
Okay, well, no light source for us then, I guess.
Here, let me replace some light sources.
Did everybody set their spawn?
There's two of them.
Good question.
Two of them right there.
Ah, yes, there are, aren't
Already
there?
activating them. Good job.
All right, everybody also be careful to not hit each other because I'm sure our swords are gonna do more damage to each other than the spiders are to us.
Oh my god, ew.
All right, I have enough copper bulbs. I need dispensers now. I need dispensers and lots of wind charges. Where is it? Is it this way? Oh, there's one
Wait,
this
like
way.
a normal one?
Oh, this is the big
Yeah.
battle room. This is the big battle room. This isn't the one I was thinking of.
Oh, this is the one with the two wind charges. Wind breezes, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
This room's a pain.
Yeah, this room's
Times.
not fun with the ominous on, that's for sure.
Uh-oh.
It's husk
The
time.
worst is the vertical
Oh
skeleton.
my
room is the
God.
worst.
Oh, yeah, the vertical skeleton room
yeah.
makes me so sad. I actually genuinely just get sad when I'm in there.
Especially the ominous.
Yeah. Because there's not much you can do.
No. Just get them to fight each other and hope for the best.
Yeah. Oh, a dispenser. Perfect. I need a couple of those. Thank you.
Oh, okay. That just became complete chaos. What the?
Oh, okay. Now I'm on the bottom.
Yep. It's better down here.
Build back up too.
Or you can do the parkour. There's a parkour in the corner. Yeah. Thank you guys all for fighting while I just go and collect all of these dispensers. I really appreciate the hard work.
It looks like a porcupine.
Yeah.
Okay. There was another one this way.
Up to the other. There's another path.
Well, there's also
there you
this
go.
one over here. There's one that goes down
Oh,
here.
okay.
That's another one of the rooms. Well, I think this is a new room. Yes, this is a new room. Yeah. It looks just like the other room that we just... Ah, that was smart. Very well done on that.
Yeah, the water was annoying me.
And so we defeated the breezes, unlocked some trial vaults, and took the chance to use an ominous potion, which led, of course, to an ominous battle. Once we made it through the many battles, we collected all of the ominous keys that we could and took our chance at the ominous trial vaults. Now, while I only got wind charges and some basic treasures, Skye got the heavy core for the mace.
But
Wow, that was pretty solid.
So with our treasures collected, before leaving, I took some time to collect a bunch of copper just so that we had enough for our future builds. And with everything in hand, we made our way back to the surface and back to the base. Okay, well, we are back from our mission. All of our friends are waiting to try this out. So I told them I was going to go ahead and get it all set up for us so that when it's done, they can just go ahead and jump right into it and give it a try for themselves. So we're going to get our dispensers set up down here, which again, like I said, this is kind of the big reason we had to go into this, into the trial chamber, was to get some dispensers. Not that we couldn't have got them anywhere else, but it's a little more fun to get them from the trial chamber. And we have a lot of these breeze rods that we can turn into wind charges as well, but I'm just going to use those here for now. And then we need to go through and change all of these to our copper bulbs. And hopefully little Jim here stays out of the way. And then we got to get all the way up to the top. And honestly, maybe I should just grab my elytra so that we can do that really quick. And then let's fly up to the top so that we can get the lights installed on the upper end, which luckily we've left this wide open. So we need to come over here and drop a light right here. And then we need to go up here and put another light all the way here, like that. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that should be it, but let's go ahead and just break this. Perfect. And now we'll do one last review to make sure that everything is good. It looks good. So now we'll fly up to the top. We will cover in the hole, and then we can tell our friends to give this a try. That is really, really exciting. So let's pop down. I will undeafen, and we can explain how this works to them. Okay,
use it.
it's ready. If you guys want to see it, I do need to put in a few more breeze rods. So don't just immediately take it. Let me show you how it works, because it does take a little bit of a, like, I made it fun in a way. So what we need to do first is you have this button right here, and this button is going to send an update all the way up top. We're going to hear a sound, and that means the ceiling is open. And now,
That was amazing.
all right, now you have to wait for the beep. You have to wait for the
I'm
beep.
stuck. I'm stuck.
You gotta get out. You gotta get out. You gotta
Okay.
so press the button. You'll hear the beep. And now you can take it.
Heck yeah.
And now the floor will close under you.
Oh. Very nice.
I'm so excited about this.
Oh. Oh. That's so cool.
And now, so not only does everybody who comes to my base get an achievement, but now if my elytra ever break, or if somebody just swims over here and doesn't have elytra or whatever, or doesn't have a happy gas or, you know, anything like that, you can just shoot your way up to the top. And look, it's as if nothing was here. I just have to keep doing this. It's right here.
Oh, right here. Yeah.
I'm gonna run out of wind charges. This is the problem. I can't just keep doing this, but Well, everyone has since logged off, and I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who helped out with going through the trial chamber. It was such a fun time, and I'm so glad to have this thing finished. So seriously, thank you guys for participating. I had a blast with that. But here to end today's episode, we are going to go ahead and come up to this, give this a push with our hand, if we can find the button. It's somewhere over here. Hold on. And now we're going to back our way into this and go to the top. And look, we landed safely. I love this thing so much. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. But as you can probably guess, with that completed, with the trial chamber done, that is all the time we have for today. And I am so happy with what we got done. If you're new or find yourself coming back, consider subscribing. We would love to have you here, but seriously, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you soon.